Hi, good morning. All right, we're going to do a live Q&A today. How's everybody? Everybody doing okay? We're going to do a live Q&A today. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Junket. Good morning, Joy Route. Good morning, Sanaya. Good morning. Wait, scrolling too fast. Good morning, Justice. Good morning, Monica. Good morning, Linda. Hey, good morning, Joan. Good morning, Professor LCH. Do I know your name, Professor LCH? Good morning, Fatima. Just Fatima. Good morning, Glass Half Full. Good morning, Lucille. Good morning, Rosanna from Waffle Cat Studio. Good morning, AZ. Good morning, Letitia. Good morning, Pilar. Happy Girl Alaska. Hey, Terry. Good morning, Gypsy Publisher. Connie Perry is out and about running errands this morning. So I don't think she'll be in the chat, or maybe she will, but I don't know. Congratulations, Monica. Good morning, Stephanie. Got my first house sit. So thrilled. Congratulations. All right. I was just saying to myself, let's start off with a brief announcement about house sitting and house sitter school and house sitting one-on-one calls. This is a good way to get started today. This is December of 2021. This is the last month that I'm going to do individual house sitting one-on-one calls. I feel like my work is done, right? I don't know. I feel like my house sitting work is done. I'm going to move in 2022 into group sessions, maybe one or two a month, group Zoom house sitting calls in 2022. I can't justify the price, right? To do a one-on-one call at this point, I would need for the time, you have to charge for your time. To do a one-on-one call to talk house sitting right now, I need to charge over $100 for that call, and I don't think that's right. I don't think, not that $100 is not right for a one-on-one call. It depends on what you're talking, right? For house sitting, I don't know that I need to charge $100 for a one-on-one call. I don't know that any of you need a one-on-one call anymore. I think most people come with 2 or 3 questions, and the rest of the time we're chatting. The rest of the time we're getting to know each other. So I'm moving into house sitting group calls, right? Which will be cheaper for you, which will take up less time in the month for me. You'll still get your questions answered. I will still be talking house sitting, but I feel like, listen, I get so many messages and comments and emails about I've started house sitting. I got my first house sit. I don't know. I feel like my work is pretty much done. So I'm going to put a link here. This is the link to book a one-on-one call with me, vicarious.com/call me. Okay, this is where you can book a house sitting or a YouTube call. So YouTube calls I'm going to continue to do, right? I do YouTube coaching, if you don't know. I coach on how to grow a YouTube channel that brings you clients. I'm going to continue to do one-on-one YouTube coaching calls, but I'm going to cut out one-on-one house sitting calls. If you've done a call with me in the last month, let's see, I probably only did five house sitting one-on-one calls this last month, and they were all like, okay, but I just want to talk, which I totally understand. I understand you just want to book some time, you just want to talk, but we can do that in a group. I have answered your house sitting questions on this channel. I think it's rare nowadays that someone comes into a house sitting one-on-one call with questions like not knowing what to do. Y'all have been coming to these calls. You already know what you want to do. So all of that to say, if you really know that you want a one-on-one house sitting call, book it this month because it's going away. Next year, they're going to be group sessions, which I think will be better. I think the group sessions will be better because you always have someone with a question that you didn't think of, and you get to meet people, which I like, right? You get to meet new friends. So I think you'll like the group sessions better. LLO, sorry to hear I joined for Black Friday and will need you when I retire. December, so group sessions. The group session will still be fine. And again, you have until the end of December. I'm not taking that off of the calendar until January. If you still want an individual one-on-one call, you can do it in December. Okay. Yeah, but congratulations to all of you who have started house sitting. I really think that, like in my life, that was such a huge game changer. It changed everything, right? You don't have to house sit full time. You don't have to house sit year round like I do or sometimes do. But even just knowing that I can go to a place, I can book a house sit, have a place to stay, and stay there as long as that lasts, that changes your perspective on travel and puts travel in a higher place in your life, I think, than it was. You know, travel, as far as priorities go, travel, it's important to us, but it's not in a higher. I don't know. I haven't had any coffee. It's not. We don't get to live it like it's a priority. House sitting means you get to live travel for however long that house sit lasts. Okay. House sitting party lines. All right. So that's a change that's happening. I want to talk to you today about your plans, right? I want to answer your questions about sabbaticals. Oh, Mom, how are you doing that? I hope you're not driving, and don't text and drive, Connie Perry. Good morning, Mom. I hope that I hope that you have I hope that you have some questions. Leave your questions in the chat. We're talking expat stuff. We're talking bopping around stuff. We're talking gap year, career break, sabbatical stuff. Ask your questions. I have a few minutes. Terry, you've inspired me to try to book a local house sit to get started. Yes. All right. So Terry, but okay. So yes to local house sits for most of us. Terry lives in Alaska. So Terry, child, don't book a local house sit. Book yourself a warm weather house sit, please. But most of us, yes, a local house sit is a good way to get started. And for you too, Terry, it's a good way for you to get started. You're going to find house sits in Alaska and Canada that are not too far from you that will be, this is the time of year that you see house sits in Alaska and the worst parts of Canada, the worst parts to me. All right. So that is that's what I always recommend. Get started locally. You don't have to, but it's usually easier to get started locally. Welcome, Ms. Yetta B. Welcome. Hi. Hola, Robin. Thanks for this super chat, Annabella. Stephanie is the How to Get Bank coach. Thanks, Annabella. Thank you for that super chat. So we'll give the super chat to the challenge. The December Declutter challenge is on. I am late inviting coaches to meet with me, but people who have offered to be a team captain. If you've offered to be a team captain for the December to Declutter challenge, actually, did I even hit send on the email? Nope. Let me hit send. So I am sending you an invitation. Send. Literally right now. I'm sending you an invitation right now to talk tomorrow. Tomorrow, Sunday, 5 o'clock Eastern time, to talk about the challenge, to give you some graphics that you can start sharing and spreading. You guys have already started. You're ahead of me. I appreciate that. I'm behind. December is just already in full swing. I'm behind, but the challenge is on. So, yes. Okay. So thank you for that super chat. All right. So that was the link. So I sent you the link, Divine. Vicarious.com/call me. That's the link for a one-on-one call. Profess LCH. I just learned Antalya is the home of Cappadocia. Antalya and Cappadocia are two different places. I know what you mean, the hot air balloons, but Antalya and Cappadocia are not the same. I'm gonna look it up and see how far apart they are. I use Rome2Rio.com, Rome2Rio, to look at like distances and how to get from one place to the next. Rome2Rio.com is a good website on how to get from point A to point B. I use it all the time. I'm typing Rome to Rio in the search box instead of Antalya and Cappadocia. Which is not pronounced that way. People who have been there call it Cappadocia. But I haven't been yet, so I call it what I want. All right, so this says there's an 8-hour bus. 8-hour bus to Cappadocia or a 4-hour flight. You have to, according to Rome to Rio, you have to fly to Istanbul and then Cappadocia or take the bus. There doesn't seem to be a direct train. Okay, so here's one 9-hour bus from Antalya to Cappadocia. Yeah, Turkey doesn't seem to be a train travel place, right? Like Mexico also, not a train travel place. You can't go from city to city by train. That's what it seems like in Turkey. Or if you can, it just doesn't cover Antalya or whatever. So they're not close, but you can hop on a flight, right? There are some budget airlines, so you can hop on a flight. We're talking about what this is talking about, what she's talking about is we're going to hang out in Turkey. Us, right? Me and my friends. We're gathering together in Turkey. We're just doing a meetup. Antalya, Turkey, Easter 2022. I'll be there April 14th through 18th at least. We're just going to hang out. I thought for sure that COVID would be like, sure. COVID right now is like, I don't know. So you're going to need to use your best judgment. I'm pretty sure I'll still be there. We'll see what the restrictions look like in the early spring, late winter, early spring. But that's the plan. That's the plan, that Black women are getting together. We're going to gather. We're going to do a meetup, an Exodus meetup. Rashida and I are doing this together, an Exodus meetup in Antalya, Turkey, 2022, April 14th through 18th at least. We'll be there at least those dates. I'll be there longer. All right. Okay. Edna, I've sent an email. Yeah. Yes. If you want help from me and a response from me, send an email. Book a call. If it's something that I can help you with. I'm sorry, I don't remember your email, Edna, but I talk a few different things. I talk house sitting, I talk sabbaticals, I talk YouTube and growing a business. Okay. If you need help with something other than that, point yourself to a better source. Okay, so maybe I don't know what your email was about, but if your email was about a family situation, or I can't help you. Seriously, right? I help people with house sitting, with taking a sabbatical, with moving abroad, with starting a YouTube channel, running a business online. Okay, those very few things. I do get emails about like, here's my family history and my entire social situation, and help me. I'm not a therapist. I'm not into that. I'm not into people dumping. Okay, so I need to stop. Period. Put a period to that on that sentence. I'm not saying that this is what you were asking me, Edna, but I need to make this clear for anyone who will come upon this replay in the future. Don't bring your stuff to me. All right? I live a life of joy. I have not signed on to be your personal therapist or counselor. All right? I have signed on to a life of doing as little as possible. So I get emails about here are all the traumas I've experienced in my life. I don't want that. Don't send them to me. I stop reading them, right? Once I get 2-3 sentences in, delete. That email is gone, okay? It's one of the reasons I don't open my DMs. Plus, men really are mean in your DMs. When you look like me, men are really terrible in the DMs. So I don't open my DMs. I don't read past a couple sentences in an email. If you start off the email with, here are the worst things that have ever happened to me in my life, not that, okay? I do one-on-one calls on a very specific subject matter, okay? If you want to talk to me about something different, find a more appropriate person. Okay, again, and that is for anyone watching the replay, not saying that is what you did, but that is for anyone watching the replay. All right, April. Okay, let's talk. Long-term travel, digital nomad, bopping around, questions. April says, I'm wondering how prescription meds are handled if you're gone for months at a time. First, in some countries, things that are prescription in the US are over the counter there. So certain things like birth control, like antibiotics, like a lot of things, not a lot of things, but certain things are over the counter in other parts of the world that are prescription in the US. So first thing I would do is check and see, is this thing available in another country? It'll have a different name, right? It'll have a different trade name. But is this thing available in the country that I'm going to? Okay. Most people have no problem. We spoke with Eve Clark during Exodus Summit in 2020. She is disabled.diva.travels on Instagram. And she said she's had no problems traveling with a large supply of prescription medications. She's got some illnesses that require medications, right? And she's had no problem traveling with them, but she needs a note explaining in English and in that other language, the language of the country she's going to, what the medication is for, right? Every single medication needs to be broken down in English and that other language. This medication is for X, this medication is for Y, this medication is for Z. But she's not had problems. The troublemaking prescriptions, I think, would be pain meds, things that are narcotics, right? Trying to take pain meds and narcotics into other countries, especially those strict, like, certain really, well, I don't know if it makes a difference. Taking narcotics into other countries, I don't have an answer for that. Someone in the chat may have an answer for like pain meds or narcotics. So how did I do with this answer? So number one, is it available over the counter in the other place? Pharmacists in other countries, the pharmacist is the person you go to when you need something, and they just give you things. Here, you don't need the doctor to prescribe your medications in some other countries. In the places I've been, in like Southeast Asia, Mexico. I don't know that I went to the pharmacy in Europe for anything. I've been to France, Portugal, Hungary, Serbia. Except for those, I did buy some really, really strong Band-Aids in Serbia. But other than that, I don't think I went. So I don't know. I can't speak about what it's like in Europe. Maybe someone in the chat can explain that. But in a lot of the world, getting access to medication, there's not that strong barrier to getting access to medications, to certain medications. So is it available over the counter where I'm going? Can I just take enough to take with me? Rashida has had people bring her a re-up, right? Okay. Rashida is, she'll take her 3-month or 6-month supply, and then when someone's coming to visit, can you go to this pharmacy and pick up this prescription for me before you come? These are all of the ways that I have seen people handle the prescription medication situation. Let's see what other, any other prescription medication. Here, Kia Massey. Most insurance companies have vacation refills that allow you to get meds in advance to take with you. Yes, when I worked in the pharmacy, I was a pharmacy technician. I was a pharmacy technician for, 5 years in the Army, 4 years in the Army. And then, I don't know, 5 years after, 10 years. Wow, I was a pharmacy technician for 10 years. Yes, so people come in and they say, this time I need I normally get a 90-day supply, but I need a 180-day supply. I saw that happen all the time. So yes to that. Yes. Thank you, Kia. Okay. I'm looking for any other medication questions. Salkis Ray. Because you have this here, I thought that was going to be a medication question. So let's go to your question. Good morning, medicinal wisdom. Good morning, Salkis Ray's medicinal wisdom. Where's the best country in northwestern Europe? Northwest, okay, for transferring and finishing a bachelor's degree ASAP. I don't know about transferring credits. I do know that English speakers, right, go to university in the Netherlands and Germany, which is not Northwest, I guess Northwest, Netherlands and Germany in particular, very inexpensively. I talked to a woman on my channel about it months or years ago. I don't know, a year ago or so. We're talking 2,500 euros for a year, like 10,000 euros for an entire degree. I don't know about transferring of credits. I would guess that is something that is not super difficult to do. So I'm going to say for a bachelor's degree, she recommended the Netherlands and Germany specifically. We talked about France, but I think France may have been for master's level. But check out those 3 countries. If you go to her video, she left a resource in the description. I'm going to try to see. When I'm live, my computer is really slow, but I'm going to try to find that for you. I think that it's time for us to utilize this life hack. Get your degree for free or as close to free as you can by going to Europe. Yes, right? They have programs in English. I think she also talked about Spain, but she said something about Spain that confused me. So these programs are in English. And I think she said Spain also has bachelor's programs in English. But so add Spain to your list and see. So she said, let me find her. The video is called Europe something. Grad school in Europe for free. All right. Grad school in Europe for free. And then she gave us a link to list of foreign universities. Okay, well, I don't know if this will be helpful. A list of foreign universities that are eligible for the U.S. federal loan program. I don't know if that's helpful. I'm going to drop that here in the chat right now, but that's not what you asked me for. And then she's got her master's program was from Erasmus Mundus, but that's not what you asked me for. Let me just copy the link to the video. And you can watch it because we did talk. It's a video where I didn't know the subject matter, and it's clear when the video gets started. I don't know what I don't understand, and Brianna was kind enough to break it down for me very simply. And we do get to bachelor stuff. So she was talking about getting her master's in Europe for free, but we do also talk about the bachelor's degree. So if you skip through a little bit, you'll see once we start talking about the bachelor's degrees, which countries she recommended. Because they're so inexpensive. So all of us and our kids, send your kid. If you're thinking about going to school to get a degree, or your kids, it's time for your kids, send them to Europe. Send them to Europe. That's the video where she talked about that. So that's all I know. Anybody else in the chat have good info? You're welcome. Thanks for the insight. I've been considering them all. Our education system is beyond disturbing. If you don't have support system, attaining one can be hell. What she said that was wonderful is that these programs expect you, because school is so inexpensive in Europe, it's nothing to be an adult student. It's no big deal to be an adult student. And these programs are built for students who have lives. Yeah, so it's a very different type of program. She was probably talking at that point about the master's program, but I would guess bachelor's as well. That it's because it's common for adults with families to go back to school because school is so cheap. The programs are not built to take up your whole life, right? We're not talking about hours and hours every week of classroom time. This is one of the bonuses that she talked about in terms of being a student in Europe compared to being in the United States. You're welcome. Thanks for caring to respond. That's what I'm here for. That's what we do. That's what we do. April P., Germany is a good option. They usually require you to show proof of funds to support yourself for a year. Okay. For things such as rent and food. Okay. It's usually $10K in the bank or a steady income stream. Good. And again, they're fine with you having a job and going to school because that's what they do. They go to school with a job. Yes. Okay. So again, digital nomads, people with a job, who is giving you income monthly. This is a great option. Thank you for that info, Andy. Okay. Linda says grad school in the U.S. is free if you get an assistantship. That's how my brothers and I got our master's and PhD. All right. So assistantship. This is just during the assistantship just happens during the school. Like, are you obligated after you graduate for anything? Right? Am I asking my question in a clear way? Don't answer it. I don't even know. My question is the assistantship for a finite period of time? Right? Or is this like now you're obligated, you went to school for free, now you're obligated to work for them for X number of years before you can be let out of your obligation? I have the perspective of someone who's been in the U.S. military, right? The U.S. government will repay your student loans after X number of years. You need to commit to certain things, and then they still might not do it. So my question is it done and done, or is there more obligation required? All right. Okay. I think we've got the school thing. I really feel confused. Some days I feel like I'm on it. I want us to get our kids in school in Europe, or if we want to go to school, I want us to go to school in Europe. After that video, I've never heard anyone talk about going to college or getting a master's degree without me telling them go to Europe. Right? I don't even know. I haven't even done my own research into it. But I'm like, go to Europe, right? Go to Europe. Go where it's free. Sweden is good. Hey, Letitia. Sweden is free. Sweden pays full salary if you get in most PhD programs. All right. So here we go. This is good info. And Adelia, great point. Good morning, Adelia. Picky Girl Travels the World is Adelia. She has her YouTube channel talking about this kind of stuff as well. So subscribe to Adelia's channel while you're here. Student visas can often be an on-ramp to residency. Very important point. Don't miss this. This is a very important point. We are looking for a more long-term solution, right? If we feel like moving abroad is a pathway to peace of mind for Black women, which, spoiler alert, we do, then being a student in a foreign country is the on-ramp to being a resident in that foreign country, right? Yes. And we talked to Latrice, who is now Paris Chic Code on Instagram. Latrice told us that in France, the student visa doesn't mean only university programs. You don't need to be in a formal university program to get the student visa, right? You can be in a bakery program. You can go and learn French pastries for 3 months, and that counts as a student visa, and that puts you on the path to applying for a residency. Or learning French. You can go to a French language program where you are learning French as long as the program is for more than 91 days. Yes, so studentness, being a student as a pathway to becoming a resident in a new country is the move. Yes to that. Yes. All right. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So we're not talking about, yes. So thank you. Love being brown. Yes. So COVID is re-raging. COVID is not cooperating with our plans at the moment. But yes, yeah, they're having a difficult time again. The Scandinavian countries are having another difficult time. All right. All right, Linda, back at it. Definitely go get your undergrad outside of the U.S. It's cheaper, and a lot of the courses here are what others abroad take in high school. That's so sad, but it's true. It's sad, but it's true. Yes. All right, so everyone here who is thinking about going to school themselves or sending their children to school, the first step, I think, is to look at countries, just do some Googles and find countries where they have bachelor's programs in English, unless your kid is already bilingual or you're already bilingual. Where are their programs in English? Brianna told us about the Netherlands, Germany, Spain. Again, I don't really remember what she said about Spain, but she told us about those options. Even the UK, I don't know. I would assume education is inexpensive in the UK too. So check there. All right, those are the places that I would get started looking at their programs. All right. All right, good, Stephanie. Good. Yeah. When she talked to us about that, I was like, even maybe I want to go to France. Latrice did a Getting Residency in France workshop for us for Exodus in France, which you can buy and watch at exodushomecoming.com/workshops. And she talked specifically about this. When she was preparing for the workshop, I was like, Latrice, don't nobody want to know about the student visa. But trick was on me. The joke was on me. That student visa situation in France is wonderful. You get in as a student, you become a resident. TD McLean, who is Tiffany, was just here last week talking about her own residency situation, or like her own, she's a student in France right now studying French. And she was talking about, I don't remember what she told us last week, something about something, but she's in France. During the summit, during Exodus Homecoming 2021, she told us how, because she's a student in France, she has access to their healthcare system. They're free, it's not free, or maybe free, I don't know, their universal healthcare system. She has to get on their healthcare system. It's called Social Security. She has to get on Social Security. She's been in France for more than 90 days. She's got to get on their healthcare system. So now she has access to that healthcare. So that this ties into the first question also. What do you do about prescriptions? Get on. Countries have there are countries who have healthcare systems that don't operate like our system. Okay, so get that. You can kill two birds with one stone, right? Student visa can lead you to residency and to better healthcare in another country. All right, let's get back. Let's get back. Okay, so I think we did the school question. Thank you so much for asking that question. That was a good one. One we don't talk about enough. I got to get more students on here. More students who have studied abroad on here to talk about it. I think that's that's like step zero to getting out of the US. Get your kids in school abroad, then you are free to go. Once your kids are in school in the US, you feel stuck here. Some moms do and some don't. All right. Hi, Hyacinth, welcome. Okay, so where are my questions at? I'm scrolling. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm scrolling. So I'm supposed to be leaving at 10:45 to go to Wanda's Jubilee, International Black Women Travel Jubilee, but I knew I was going to be late, so that was never a question. That was never a question. All right. Where am I? Just pick a question, Stephanie. Okay, so there's the prescriptions question. So here's the next one. Do most house sits have pets? Yes, especially now. Now that people aren't feeling free to travel for a year, right? And we're just most people are traveling for shorter periods of time. Almost all house sits are pet sits. When we get back to freer travel and borders being more open, it's a little easier to find house sits that aren't pet sits. But remember that not all pets are furry, right? Not all pets are cats and dogs. There are fish sits. I saw a nice house sit in Hawaii that was just a koi fish pond, right, in the front yard. So not all pet sits are cats and dogs. Congratulations, Tanya, on applying for your first house sit. Keep applying. I think that this is one of the biggest misconceptions. I applied for a house sit. I'm going to get a house sit. Keep applying, right? Apply for every house sit that you see that you want. Don't wait on one. Because anybody can get turned down. I still get turned down for house sits. I got turned down for a Thanksgiving house sit in the Hamptons, right? I think I was the fourth person to apply. So keep applying. Don't put all your eggs in that one house sit basket. Becoming Nirel. The local house sits in my area either fire the normal dog walker or regularly work from home, and they have demanding schedules for their pets. I still have to go to work. Yeah. So in the old days, before COVID, people were a lot less picky about your house sitting schedule. Now I do see house sits where people are like, you know what, we've been home with this dog for the last 2 years almost. This dog is used to having someone home with him all the time, and he now goes to the potty every 2 or 3 hours. I just don't apply for those sits. It's not every sit, it's not most sits, but I just don't apply for them. I've never done puppy sits. I don't. House puppies are adorable, and I would love to take pictures with your cute puppy, doing cute puppy things, but I'm not. I don't do it because I don't want to have to be in the house during that period of time. So just apply for sits that don't have those requirements. If you think that they are over, now remember that people kind of exaggerate things. Are they actually taking their dog out every 2-3 hours for a walk? Probably not, right? They're laying on the sofa. Probably not. So you can apply and let them know. I work 8 hours a day. I work away from home. Here that whatever is this. You can still apply if you think that they're not really right. Because I've had a dog. I know what it's like to just be home. Yes, I'm home with the dog all day, but she's minding her business. I'm minding my business. As long as I feed her at 6 and walk her at 7, we're good to go. I definitely did not take Star out for a walk every 2 or 3 hours. And some of these people are not either. They're not either. Thanks for the super chat, Roxanne. You have great energy and information. Thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you very much. I'll add that to the challenge. All right. Next question. Yes, Adelia, AZ just came back from Turkey. Well, I don't know about just, but yes, was in Turkey not too long ago and said, yeah, there's no train system. Yeah, it's okay though. Mexico doesn't either. And it's easy to get around. The buses are good. The buses are so easy. Are the buses in Turkey good, or would you recommend flying? Let us know about that. In Mexico, buses are like amazing. This is first class. This is a first class bus. The bus from city to city in Mexico, wonderful. It's a wonderful experience. It's not like your local Greyhound or what's the other bus? What is it used to be called? Peter Pan bus. It's not the Peter Pan bus. And on the East Coast, we had that little cheap Peter Pan bus. Arnell, which travel insurance do you recommend? So I've only used World Nomads, and actually before this next trip, I'm supposed to be looking for a new one or looking around to see if I want to stick with World Nomads or find someone else. I wouldn't say I recommend them because I've never used them. I've never filed a claim. So I don't know what the process, right? If I had filed a claim and it had gone well, then I would say, yes, I recommend World Nomads. I'll say that I've used World Nomads. It's an easy process, and I feel like it was worth the money. The insurance, what they were covering was worth the money, and you could do things kind of a la carte, right? Do you want to be covered in the event of pregnancy, right? Do you need to be covered for snorkeling? Do you, right? Certain things are going to make your policy more expensive or less expensive. You can do things kind of a la carte with World Nomads. Allianz, Allianz is another popular insurance provider, travel medical insurance provider. But I can't say that I recommend anyone, right? You have to have one. I'm not saying it's because you don't need one. You have to have it. But I don't know that there's anybody who's, I would say, is good. You know what I'm saying? I hope I'm being clear on this. We have a couple of links to a couple of travel and Safety Wing, right? Safety Wing is another provider. If you download the Work From Anywhere toolkit, which I keep putting the wrong link in here. It's exodushomecoming.com/toolkit. I'm going to change this. exodushomecoming.com/toolkit. When you download the Work From Anywhere toolkit, you'll get links to some travel insurance providers, travel medical insurance providers. When you're traveling, you need to be insured in the event of hospitalization or medical evacuation. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about trip insurance in case your flight is canceled or your baggage is late. We're talking travel medical insurance in case you need to be hospitalized or medically evacuated. So I would say look around. World Nomads, Allianz, Safety Wing. The links to 3 of them, at least, are in this Work From Anywhere toolkit. Might be a couple of others in there as well. All right. April P. I used Safety Wing, didn't file a claim. So I can't say if they're good or not. That's the real test. Yeah. So that's the real test. I actually, after I drowned my iPhone in the Philippines, I bought a new phone, and then I found out that I could have filed a claim against my insurance to reimburse myself for the new phone, but I didn't. So I've never filed a claim. Danica, all right, please do a review of travel insurance providers. Okay, I'll write it on my list. Travel insurance providers. Okay, we'll talk about this sometime soon. All right, I'll do some research, and if anybody wants to come and talk, holler at me. Allianz, Lumen Grace, hey, it says Allianz was good, quick return. This time I've got Safety Wing since it was for long-term use abroad. Yeah, so Allianz, as far as I know, this may have changed, but as far as I know, they didn't used to do an annual policy like World Nomads and Safety Wing. I had an annual policy. I just let my policy run out before I came home this time because I knew I'd be home for months. But that's right, Allianz didn't used to do an annual policy. I feel like the lady told us that was changing. Rashida and I talked to her once. I feel like she told us that was changing, but I can't say for sure. Maybe we asked her if it was changing, but I don't remember what she said. Okay, yes. All right, thank you for that. Oh, Hello, Shizzle. Does anyone have an experience being an au pair? I'm 21 and really considering being an au pair in the Netherlands. Um, there is a young woman who is called No, she's not Brittany. I don't have, no. No, if anyone in the chat can give info, please share with LOL, it's Shizzle. I did a work exchange in Australia where I was kind of a demi pair, a part-time au pair. So I lived in the home and took care of the kids. Basically, I got the kids up and dressed and ready for school, fed them breakfast and packed their lunch and drove the carpool, right? But that was not paid. I didn't do it paid. I did it just in exchange for free room and board. And it was very short term. I think I was there for a month or 2 months. Must have been 2 months. It was all, it might could have been longer than 2 months. That was not a formal au pair like through an agency. I know that there are au pair agencies, but I don't know how you find them and how you vet them. Let's see, anybody in the chat? So yeah, I would look for an au pair agency. There's a young woman who, Essence Bijan. Okay, so let's see. Let me look on my Instagram really quickly. She's an au pair and she's a travel au pair. Like she travels with the family and everything. Like Essence, ESSEN Bijan. Okay, her Instagram handle is Essence Bijan. Okay, so I don't think she has a YouTube channel, but look her up. Okay, Essence Bijan on Instagram. No, wait. Now I'd put her. I didn't put her Instagram handle in here, and now I think I'm confusing Essence with the other person. Let's see. Well, she's got pictures of her with kids. I don't know if that's the right person. Let me take this off the screen. I follow a black au pair on Instagram. Let me scroll back farther because she used to post pictures with the kids. So let me see if this is her. I may be confusing her with and also follow a black woman on Instagram who is in Germany in college. And now I think I've confused Essence and the other girl. I don't know. Yeah, that's her, Essence. She must not be an au pair anymore. Okay, but I said all that to say no. I don't know. I don't know of anyone who's creating that kind of information to help navigate the system. But I would look for an agency, right? Just look for an agency that has wonderful reviews. So Ione, I got the demi-pair job just through Workaway. Workaway.info is a place where people who need help go to find helpers. And then workaway.info and helpx.net. Okay, so those are two sites where a work exchange is just that. It's a work exchange. You go to do some work for people, usually 4 or 5 hours of work a day, in exchange for free room and board. I got that through workaway.info. Workaway and HelpX are two very well respected sites, but the individuals who are looking for help are individuals. So you have to vet them separately, right? You need to read their reviews and ask your questions separately because the person who's looking for a helper is independent, right? It's like Airbnb, right? HelpX and Workaway are like the Airbnb of work exchanges. So you need to do your own due diligence. I had a wonderful experience in the family. I had an okay experience in another work exchange where I basically took care of the dogs and did some yard work, which is not like me at all. And then I had a not good experience in one in Cambodia where I worked for a Frenchman, a white farmer, not a Cambodian farmer, right? So you need to do your own due diligence, but that's how I got those. But again, those are unpaid. You're just getting free room and board, which is a wonderful way to see the world, right? It's a wonderful way to see the world, to live with people in these communities and meet other travelers, because in some of the work exchanges, there'll be more than you, right? There'll be other people there as well. I'm a big fan of work exchanges. If I had never discovered house sitting, I would still be doing work exchanges. I would still travel doing that. You're welcome. Oh, and Ronnie, the travel guru, also worked as a nanny a few years ago. She doesn't do that anymore, but that's how she lived in Paris, I believe. Ronnie, the travel guru. I would guess that she's got some content on her website. I would guess if you go to her Instagram, I would guess on her website, she's got some info about au pair life. But that was a while ago. That wasn't recent. So, yeah, that's my answer. I even still, I still think about it. Right? Because some of these travel nannies and travel au pairs are paid extremely well, and they're just there for the vacation period. That's a thing, right? People take a travel nanny with them when they go on vacation so that someone is there to watch their kids while they get buck wild or like relax and enjoy their time on the beach. And so they pay for the nanny's travel and stay and give her a little pay her cash money as well so that she can take care of the kids while they are on vacation. That's a thing. And then of course there are nannies who are everyday like regular life nannies, and then there are specific travel nannies. All right. I'm looking for your questions. I don't know what you mean. Are you applying just in your area for house? Oh, for houses. Um, yes, for this period of time because I want to be within driving distance of Delaware until I leave in the end of this month. So yes, I was just looking for house sits within driving distance. But no, I house sit wherever. I've house sat. So I guess there might be some new people here. Hi, new people. I didn't even introduce myself. I'm Stephanie Perry. I'm a house sitter. I'm the creator of House Sitter School, and I help Black women take a sabbatical or move abroad on a budget. Please subscribe. If you're here, subscribe to this channel. If you saw something that was interesting enough for you to come and watch this video live or on the replay, then subscribe, please. So hit subscribe and then hit notifications to turn on notifications so that you'll know when I post a new video or when I do go live. So yes, I do have some new subscribers over the last few days. Thanks, Black Enterprise. Yeah, so there's some of you are really new to the idea of house sitting. I have a whole playlist on my channel about house sitting. I house sit wherever. Mostly I house sit in Mexico because I like it. So for the last 3 years, I spent at least 6 months in Mexico house sitting. But I've house sat in the Netherlands and all over England. Not all over the UK, but all over England. I had a nice time house sitting in England. And up and down the East Coast and part of the West Coast and Texas in the US. But no, I don't think you need to just apply in your area. That's not what I meant. I just mean it's easier when you're brand new with no reviews. It's easier for someone to take a house sitter who's local, right? I think. But that being said, plenty of women here in this chat have gotten their first house sit that was not local. So if you see a house sit that you want, apply for that house sit is the main point. But it can be much easier. Don't disregard local house sits. If you live in Atlanta, DC, New York, Chicago, Austin, Dallas, San Francisco, LA, there are house sits in abundance. So apply for a local house sit. It makes it much easier once you get that 5-star review to get the next house sit. All right, all right, all right. Any other questions? Shipping goods abroad. Hi, EJ Crittenden. Okay, so my hope for us Black women, I've made it clear that I have a goal for Black women. Because you're a Black woman, my goal for you is to experience life in a different way, which includes not being tied down to a location. Shipping your stuff to a new home is expensive, and I think it's more likely to tie you to a location. I hope if you've never had a chance to experience the freedom of being where you want, when you want, that you will first go bopping, right? Bop around for a little while before you go and try to replicate your US life in another place. This is me talking, okay? You know what's best for you, but this is what I would want for everybody. This is what I want for us. I want us to have some freedom to be able to be and go where we want without being tied down to a location. When I think of shipping things abroad, I think of that being a cement, you are now cemented into this place. I could be totally wrong, okay? Now, I'm gonna spill her business because I do things. This is what I do. My team Vicarious has a client services representative extraordinaire named Clarice, who is now a resident of Jamaica. She left Mississippi. She's a resident of Jamaica. And she did ship her furniture to Jamaica because she couldn't find cute furniture, which is a real concern, right? The furniture stores in Jamaica were just not meeting her needs. So she did come to the US and ship her furniture to Jamaica. I'm going to say it took 6 weeks or so, if that, 6 weeks for her goods to get into Jamaica. It took a few different steps for her to be able to get her stuff. Once it landed in the port, took a few steps. It didn't seem like a really awful process. I can't tell you I don't remember what she told me. I think she told me 2 pallets, but I can't tell you what that means. 2 pallets of goods. That means nothing to me. I've never shipped things. So when you're going to the Caribbean, it seems not uncommon to ship things down there. During Exodus, we talked to Zoe, who moved her family to Grenada from the UK, and same, they shipped a lot of stuff. I think if you're just starting this life and you've never had time to bop around, I think you should start with bopping before you ship your goods. And then once you find a place and you know you want to stay there, see if it makes sense for you to just buy your stuff there. If you're going to someplace like Mexico, Portugal, France, just buy it there, right? I can understand the Caribbean being a difficult place to get the furniture that you like. I can understand that. Everything is probably going to be kind of wickery, or, right? Or just not what you want. Or if it is what you want, it's going to be crazy expensive because the Caribbean seems to do a good job of catering to the ultra rich. So I can see that being a thing, and I can understand why Clarice and Zoe ship their items, okay? But I hope and pray and wish and dream and want you to not do that, especially not first. Clarice had been in Jamaica for months before she came back, got residency, and shipped her items, okay? Zoe has been to Grenada. Zoe has family in Grenada. Her dad lives in Grenada. So they had been and spent plenty of time in Grenada before shipping their items, right? Nobody, I don't think, should take the time and effort to ship items to a place you haven't even lived in yet, right? Because you don't know. How do you know that you're not going to get there and find the furnishings that you need? Yeah. I think bopping from Nigeria is my plan. Okay. So you're planning to go, okay. So you're moving to Nigeria and then you're going to do some bopping from there. Nigeria. Okay. So people get on me a lot about not talking about living and traveling in Africa, but there's a reason that I don't do it. It's just not convenient. It's not an easy place to travel around from or through, right? Trying to travel internationally from an airport in Nigeria or Ghana or Rwanda is crazy expensive. Anyway, so I right, Nigeria, and also like Nigeria, Ghana, as far as I know, Nigeria, Ghana, and then Rwanda on the East Coast. These are not places where you're going to get the ease of being able to just pick up and go. In Nigeria, as far as I know, in Ghana and Rwanda, you need to pay a year's rent. You're paying a year's rent before you move in. Some people pay 2 years' rent before they move into their place. So you're stuck. This is my impression of these places, having talked to people who are there. Once you're there, you're stuck. If you want freedom, which is what I want for you, if you want to be able to bop around, start with the bop and then do some settling down once you're ready. I'm thinking about settling down. I've been looking at apartments in Lisbon, in Portugal. And I've been looking at apartments in Curacao. I haven't even visited Curacao yet. And I'm thinking like, how easy or difficult is it for an American to move to Curacao, right? So I understand wanting to have a home base, but not all home bases are created equal. Some home bases are so expensive and so difficult to travel from that it's going to be more of a struggle than not having a home base, right? How easy is it for you to travel internationally from this place? I think that's important if you're looking to bop. Yeah. Yeah. So the Arnell's talking about the cargo lag. I was really surprised when Clarice got her things, and I think I would say 6 weeks. I'm gonna say 6 weeks to Jamaica from Mississippi. So that's that was really surprised. Like I was like, girl, these ports. But I guess because she didn't have to deal with LA or California, the West Coast, things worked out really well for her. Yeah. Yes. Betting is horrific in a lot of the world. This is something that Rashida talked about on her channel. Rashida's on the loose. Rashida lives in Mexico City. She's a resident of Mexico City now, right? And this is something that she has flown to Florida to buy bedding to take it back with her to Mexico City. Yeah, that's the thing. Soft, comfortable bedding is not a priority in parts of the world, which is surprising. Like Mexico City, there are rich people in Mexico City. There's money in Mexico City. So the fact that even she had a struggle finding comfortable, good bedding there tells me that this is going to be a problem in a lot of places. Yes, right. This is a thing where maybe you need to just, you're taking extra suitcases when you're moving someplace. You're not traveling with a carry-on and a backpack, right? You have an extra suitcase or two. So we're putting some extra bedding in there. That is a good heads up to all these ladies in the chat. If comfortable bedding is important to you, you might need to bring it with you. You might need to bring it with you. Yes. Professor LCH says this is a uniform complaint around the world. It is. This is a thing where I guess America excels. I think might be the only, I need to start making a list. This might be the only place where America excels. Comfortable bedding. I'm going to write that down too. Yes, that is a uniform complaint. That's right. All right, let's see. Strollers and stilettos. Check out high-end nannies. Okay, Leslie. Hi, Leslie. Says strollers and stilettos. Oh, hi. Oh, wait. You're talking to strollers and stilettos, and you're saying check out high-end nannies. Is that a service? High-end nannies is a service. Let us. Well, I don't know. I don't think you were talking to me anyway. So sorry about that. All right. Elaine, hi. Elaine says, I have 2 years to make my exit. Learning a lot from this site. Will be getting my one-on-one next year. Okay, right on track. Yeah, 2 years is a good amount of time, and it may be sooner. Most of the time I think most of us who do this kind of coaching, I would say most of us, when somebody says 2 years, most of them are getting out the door sooner for various reasons. Let's see. Questions, y'all? What are your questions? Here, start with South Africa. South Africa also like an expensive place to fly around to. If we're talking bopping, right? If you're talking, I'm free to go where I want for as long as I want, as long as the tourist visa says I can go. South Africa is the continent of Africa. It's difficult, right? Most of the time, it's even bopping I thought I would get to South Africa and then I would go up to Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Uganda for a little while. Because I had time. And no. I want to say the flight to go from the round trip flight from Johannesburg up to, I don't know where I was going to go up to, either maybe Nairobi, was as much as my flight to get to Johannesburg or to get to Cape Town. I flew into Cape Town from New York, right? Or Cape Town from London. I don't really remember what route I took. I think I started in London and then came down to Cape Town. I don't know. It's just really expensive. Africa is just a place where it's harder, it's more expensive to get around, more expensive and more challenging. There are more challenges to life in Africa. If we're talking about digital nomad life, right? Halana Black, who I've interviewed here when she lived in Vietnam, now lives in Kigali, Rwanda, and the bank, just getting money out of the bank to pay her landlord is a 2-day process, right? Like there are challenges. I don't want us to think, I want you to embrace less, right? Ease. I'm talking ease all season long, right? We're talking ease. I don't know that you're going to find the ease that I want for you in these places. South Africa is different. So yes, ease in South Africa, but not bopping. So okay. So anyway, I'm talking two different topics. So ease in South Africa is a thing. Yes, you can experience ease in South Africa, but you're not going to be able to experience bopping on a budget. If bopping on a budget is your goal for your time off of work, then these are not going to be the right home bases. Not now. Maybe soon. Maybe there's an airline coming who's going to change the game for travel through and out of Africa. But right now, it's not for boppers on a budget. All right, what are we talking? What are our questions? Yes, rare hibiscus. In a place like in the Caribbean, you could probably get custom made furniture instead. Yes, but it's probably going to be right. Like if you're wanting to replicate the West Elm look or the restoration hardware look. I don't know that you're going to find that in these places, at least not for a regular amount of money. Yeah, I don't know, because I even in Mexico, which has everything, but so I haven't spent time in Mexico City, right? But in like the Guadalajara and Lake Chapala areas of Mexico and the Guanajuato areas of Mexico, like the furniture is not cute. That furniture ain't cute. I think you need to go to Mexico City to get the cute furniture. Or maybe I didn't see it in Guadalajara, but not in Guanajuato. It's just that wooden, stiff, hard stuff. We're used to comfortable furniture here, and you know. Maybe we'll talk to Clarice one day on the channel. Maybe we'll talk. I don't think there's a whole lot to the story. She seemed pretty okay with it, you know. Because there are shipping companies, that do most of the effort, do most of the work. And then once she got it into Jamaica, she had to do a couple of steps to clear, clear customs, I don't know, to a couple of steps, and then the furniture was home. Yeah, I don't know that there's a good story there. Does that sound like that would be a good story? We'll see. We'll ask her. Hi, JoJo. What about bopping in the Middle East? So there are low-cost airlines that do that for you. There, it's a different question. The question in the Middle East is like, do you have to go through certain places? A lot. So my limited experience in looking for flights in the Middle East, I've never been to the Middle East. Not yet. I want to, but it's not. I'm on a budget. But from my limited experience in looking at flights, which is something that I do like it's my job, I search for flights like somebody's paying me to search for flights. A lot of budget airlines, the Kuwait Air or something, and the one with the bird, right? There are budget airlines in the Middle East that do make it boppable, but a lot of them seem to stop in Saudi Arabia. Which is difficult for Americans to get through. It's a difficult spot for Americans to pass through. Or at least when I was doing my Googling a couple years ago, things might have changed. But it's not the kind of place where you can just have a layover and be fine. You need to have separate, special, I don't know if you need a separate, like that visa where you're passing through a country, but I remember it not being an easy thing, not being super easy. But there are low-cost carriers. There are low-cost airlines. So Dubai to Oman, no problem, right? No problem. No problem. They're neighbors. No problem. And Oman is beautiful. Nicole Brewer lives in Oman, and it looks amazing and beautiful. And she lives a luxury life on a teacher's paycheck. Yeah. So it looks beautiful. Oh, okay. But they do. But so yes, there are low cost carriers. I think as long as you don't need to pass through Saudi Arabia, it seems like a good thing. And Oman and Dubai are neighbors, so no problem getting there. Various ways. Look at RoamToRio.com. There are probably buses and flights getting you back and forth. Okay, but Adelia, who has lived in Kuwait, says Kuwait air sucks. Good to know. Okay, good to know. Adelia has lived in Kuwait. She was a teacher in Kuwait, so that's important. Yes. Okay. This may be what I'm remembering. As a woman transiting through Saudi Arabia, you need to have an abaya, at least when I was there. Yes, you have to be fully covered. They're just, and think, I think a solo woman couldn't transit through Saudi Arabia. I may have totally misunderstood, but I don't think a solo woman could without special permission. This was again probably 2017 when I was looking at this when I was going leaving South Africa, but it was not a thing that I was willing to research anymore. Once I saw that it was not going to be easy, so as long as your low cost flight does not stop through Saudi Arabia, things will be better. Lots of, yes, the Middle East, great. Again, I have been bopping on a budget. That's the only reason I haven't been to the Middle East. I think I would love it there. I would. I've seen pictures of Oman, and I've seen right. I will get there sometime soon. Sometime soon. Yes, lots to do, lots to see. Wonderful experiences. Black women love their lives in the Middle East. Nicole Brewer and Marlene Shane both are teachers, or no, well, both work in education in Oman, and they love it. Jojo says, I went to Saudi Arabia from Abu Dhabi and my visa was awarded in 5 minutes. Okay, and cost less than 90 pounds. Solo, as a solo woman? Okay, one more question, Jojo. Were you the only woman in the group? Serious question, because I remember it not being a simple process for a woman traveling solo. So, Savvy Soldier, I don't want to travel anywhere. There are restrictions on on my attire. A lot of places, people have different rules. Even in where did I go? Malaysia, which is a wonderful country. Parts of Malaysia I enjoyed. The food is amazing. The weather is not, but the food is amazing, right? Even in Malaysia, you're not dressing. You're not wearing this. You're not wearing a tank top as a woman in Malaysia. Um, right? Their country, their rules. Qatar. Kemi says Qatar, Oman, and the UAE are great to visit. I, I'm going to work on them. Once I'm like, ugh, I feel like I need to get all of the inexpensive places out of my system before I'll be able to spend significant time there. Well, I know they just got driver's license. So Mia, I'm not saying I would disagree with this. Okay, yes, you can travel to Saudi Arabia as a solo woman. I'm a look. I Yes, women are driving now, but it's not like, oh, life is breezy for them. We're not going to paint that picture. Yes, we're not going to paint the picture that life is breezy for women in Saudi Arabia solo. No, I don't believe it. I haven't been, but I don't believe it. Right. Ease. Okay. So I think what I want for us is ease. Do we want to take the time and effort to plan something that is going to require so much dis or unease, right? So much extra stuff when we can just go places that are easy. Oman, easy, right? I'm not going to put Saudi Arabia on a list for solo Black women. I'm not doing it, right? There are places where we can go that are easy on us. That's what I'm doing. That's where we're going. That's where we're going. I know you don't have a reason to lie, But I'm not going to be on here promoting Saudi Arabia as a tourist destination for solo women. No, indeed. You're not going to see that from me. Yeah, alcohol rules also. Yes, alcohol rules throughout a lot of I think Malaysia had alcohol rules too. I don't remember what they were, but I think Malaysia had alcohol rules too. Yeah, so they're different. You need to know what the rules are in different places. All right, questions? Yeah, Savvy Soldier, when I said Mexico doesn't have a train, I just mean a train from city to city. Yeah, there are metro systems and trams. Leon has a train system, a light rail system. Yes, I just mean you can't take a train from city to city, or you're not getting on a train from Guadalajara to Mexico City, which would be helpful if there was. But flights are so cheap, flights are so inexpensive that no problem. Okay, so passed the demi-pair question. Let's see. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Did we not have many questions? Are we ready to go? Blakely, why do Mexicans feel it is great to come to the U.S.? Keep in mind that a lot of the people who are coming into the U.S. are not Mexicans. They're just passing through Mexico. Yeah, there are people from all over the world who are trying to get into the U.S. because the U.S. has done a good job of destroying, and the U.S. and other countries have done a good job of destroying economies around the world. So people are trying to get into the U.S., but just because they're trying to pass through Mexico doesn't mean they're Mexicans. I saw plenty of black and brown people, or black people, passing up through Mexico. People told me they were from Nicaragua, but they could also have been Haitians. There are a lot of people coming from Haiti and Dominican Republic somehow over in through Mexico and up into the United States. So, number one, they're not necessarily Mexicans that want to come to the United States. Number two, because it's pretty like it's. I don't know that I ever met, or how am I say this? I had many a conversation with a Mexican who was like, "Oh yeah, I used to live in the United States," right? And they're back. It's not that big of a deal to them. I talked to the man who was the resort. I house sat on a resort, and he was like the concierge, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I lived in the U.S. for X number of years, and I've worked in the U.S. X different times over the years, right?" So the people that are coming in are not necessarily Mexican people, but also like economies are bad in different places, and the U.S. has created U.S. and other countries, right, have created significant income inequality in the world, right? So it makes sense that people want to go where the money is, where the money reside. Who doesn't? Yeah, that's why. That's why. Because just because you can get an apartment for $350 in Merida, Mexico, doesn't mean a person in Mexico, a person from Merida, can afford a $350 apartment, right? What's good to us is still expensive to some of them. That's why. That's why. What's the difference between England and the UK? The UK has four countries: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. That all makes up the UK. That's when I was saying I house sat in all over England. I house sat all over England, but I didn't get up to Scotland or wait. I didn't house sit all over the UK, just all over England. I went from the north, from York, which is kind of north, down to Brighton in London and couple other places. Hi, Linda. So I'm running the YouTube Success Challenge, 5-day challenge. It starts on Monday. I was supposed to email y'all first thing this morning. If you've signed up for the challenge, I didn't forget you. I just was supposed to send you an email this morning and I forgot to send the email, but I didn't forget you. Okay. So the YouTube Success Challenge is a 5-day challenge where you're going to learn how to teach YouTube who your channel is for, right? And during this challenge, we're going to teach YouTube who your audience is so that YouTube can go bring them to you like they did bringing you to me, to this channel. All right, it's a 5-day challenge at vicarious.com/challenge. There are spots left. So the first time we ran the challenge, it was really big, too big. So we decided to cut back the number of people that we are admitting into this challenge, but there are still spots left. Vicarious.com/challenge. It starts on December 6th. Part of the reason there are still spots left is that we're doing the lessons or the group coaching sessions at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We did them before at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, which seemed to be better for people. 8 p.m. Eastern Time is not good for some people, right? But if you're a person who knows that 3 p.m. is not going to work for you, get in on this challenge at 8 p.m. because the next time it's going back to 3. I can tell by the lack of demand that 8 p.m. was not a good choice. But I did this for Nirel. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. I wanted to make sure Nirel could get in here. I had probably 3 or 4 different women who reached out to me. So that's why we're doing it at 8 p.m. Next time, which will be February or maybe January, we'll be back at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Anyway, that's at vicarious.com/challenge. If you have a YouTube channel or if you have the desire to start a YouTube channel, I think you should join the challenge if you're willing to commit to making a video during that 5-day challenge. You got to make a video and post it, publish it. Okay. If not, then you're just giving me money. Okay. It's not a helpful challenge if you don't follow through and make the video. Okay. If you're afraid to make a YouTube video, it's okay. Everyone is afraid. All right. You're going to be in a group of women, a group of Black women who are all afraid. You're just going to get in the water. Yeah. Right. And let that momentum, you're going to ride the wave. You're going to let that momentum take you, just like, we're going to create a wave, right, of action, and you're just going to ride that wave. Okay, so being afraid to start your YouTube channel is not a reason not to join the challenge. Okay, don't join the challenge if you know that you're just not going to make a video. No matter what we say, no matter how much we encourage you, then this is not going to work for you. But if you do feel like, if you had some sisters around you who are also feeling this fear and who are going to take this action in fear, then I think you should be there. If you cannot look back on any point in your life where you have taken action while afraid, address that. Okay? I'm not a life coach. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. But if you cannot look at your life and say, at any point and say, I was afraid to do this thing and I did it anyway, address that. Because that is the life skill, right? It is the life skill of all life skills. You can know how to do so many different things, but if you don't know how to take action when you're afraid to do things, you're stuck. You're stuck. That has taken me far. So I started out talking about how house sitting changed my life, right? But none of that would have happened if I had not been able to do things when I was really afraid to do them. Like quitting my job to travel for a year on savings when I made $22 an hour, right? I didn't have a job where it was like, I didn't have the money to be like, oh, I'll quit and then I'll come back and we'll see what happens. I knew that when I came back, I was going to need to get another job immediately, but doing that changed everything for me, changed what my life's priorities. It changed who I was, who I am, right? Being able to do things when you're afraid to do them, the life skill. Okay? If you've not done that, if you can't look at a time when you've done that, you need to address it. This is a thing. This is a time for a therapist. Okay? I laugh and stuff and I'm smiling, but I'm not kidding. I'm smiling, but I'm not kidding. That is the life skill that will take you far. So vicarious.com/challenge for the YouTube Success 5-Day Challenge. I'm gonna write that in there. If you're watching the replay, hello, welcome. You can still go to the link and see what happens. The next challenge date may be up and you may be able to register for the next one. Vicarious.com/challenge. All right. All right. Glass half full. Stephanie, why do you want to settle in Portugal out of all the places you have visited? I think Portugal is the total package. My criteria, which are not the same as your criteria, okay? My criteria, I need to, and these are in no particular order. I need to be able to get back to the US on a direct flight very easily and get back to like JFK or BWI airport very easily. From Lisbon, I can take a direct flight and be back in, I think, 5.5 or 6 hours. That's very important to me. Cost of living, right? I need to be able to live all in without house sitting on, a decent amount of money. Today, I would say it's more like $2,500 per month, but so that opens up a lot more places. But when I was first looking, I was looking for places where I could live on $1,500 a month, and Portugal still worked as long as I was willing to be to live live out away from the good parts of the city, right? Not, I don't mean like live in the bad parts of the city, but I mean like live out, live out in a little bit in the town or country and not necessarily in the city. But now at $2,500 a month or so, I know I can live in the city. Oh, I wanted a place where I could learn the language. Right. I really love Vietnam, but ain't no way I'm gonna ever learn Vietnamese. I don't understand it. I don't get it. It's not, I don't know. I don't know how people learn it as a new language. I get how you can learn it if you if you've been born there, if it's what you speak as a child. I've seen people speak Vietnamese who are not Vietnamese. I don't get it. How does your tongue do those things? I don't know. I want to be able to know that I can learn the language, at least read some words and say some words. I don't know that that would ever happen in Vietnam, Thailand, which I really enjoyed. Cambodia, I don't know. Beaches, right? I need easy access to beaches. Even if I don't live on a beach, I need to be able to know that I can get to the beach really easy. Portugal's all coast, right? Portugal is like the Delaware of Europe. Portugal is all coast. And so that means the food, a place where I like the food. Portugal is heavy on seafood, of course. They make a little pastry, right? Pastel de nata. It's a little egg pastry, a little custard that I could not stop eating. I bought my mom some pastéis de nata. I don't know. I bought her a box of them. I ate them before I could get back to give them to her. I think the box had 6 and I gave her a box of 2 by the time I got home. The flight is only 6 hours, right? So, right, a place where I can enjoy the food. I want a place where I know that I can not know that, but where I feel like my odds are better of getting a partner. I date men. There are places where I think I would not want to date the men there. Portugal seemed to have been a place where I would have been okay. I was on Tinder in Portugal and my Tinder was popping, and walking down the street just regularly, men would stop and talk to me. So I think my dating prospects are good in Portugal as well. Their average height, I would say they're like the average male height, men's height in Portugal is around 5'9". I'm 5'9". I think my chances of finding a taller man are good compared to Mexico, for example, where the average man is probably 5'5", I would guess, just from being there and being head and shoulders above people all day long. All day long, I can see over everyone's head. So I think that my dating prospects are probably better in Portugal. There are Black Portuguese people. So it's not a place where I'm always going to be the outsider. Now, no matter where I go, people immediately know I'm American. It's just a thing. It's my clothes. I don't know, my hair. I don't know. In South Africa, I just knew. I knew I was going to blend in. I did not blend in. I did not. No one ever greeted me in Zulu. No one ever greeted me in Tausa. I can't even say the word, which is clear. It's clear that I'm not from there. I had one woman greet me in Zulu my entire time in South Africa. Everyone else switched to English. She greeted me in Zulu and I knew she was greeting me. I said, "Good morning." She said, "You don't speak Zulu?" Right? But everyone else immediately knew, right? Black South Africans are very small, so that might have been another reason, right? I stood head and shoulders over them as well. But I would love to, it would be nice to be in a place where I am not, where I don't stick out like a sore thumb, which is something that I experienced in Portugal. Even though they did interpret me as American immediately, there are Black Portuguese people, right? Because of their, I don't know, is the colonization, is that the right word? Colonization of Mozambique and a couple other places. So there are Black Portuguese people. These things also happen to work in Curaçao's favor as well. I'm going to Curacao for the winter. I think I'm still going. COVID might tell me no, but right now I'm still planning to be in Curacao for the winter. And I think that this is also going to I think Curacao is also going to be a place where I could consider a more long-term life. I don't know Portugal also has a good, number 7, Portugal also has a good visa situation. It's not terribly difficult to get residency in Portugal. The D7 visa is something that Americans get and move to Portugal and stay and are there legally instead of being there illegally, which I would never do. So those are the 7 things. Other countries meet that same criteria. I think Curacao is probably the next runner-up for all of those things, except for the cost of living, which, right? So now that I'm talking $2,500 and I may have to bump it up to $3,000 a month if I wanted to stay in Curacao, but it also seems to fit that criteria. It's just a matter of, yes, I want access to the beach, but I also want like other things. I don't know that I would want to live on a Caribbean island. I don't know. I've never been on a beach for that amount of time, so I don't know if that would work for me. But those are the reasons. Angola, thank you, Jojo. Yes, right? So Portugal, there are people from Mozambique and Angola in Portugal, so there are Black people in Portugal. I was even asked if I was from Mozambique. That's what I remember. I could see her face and her voice. It was a breakfast place. I was going to have some breakfast, and she worked there, and she was walking out the door. I guess she was leaving for the day, maybe. And she was like, "You don't speak Zulu?" She was mad at me. I said, "No, I don't. I speak English." I don't know the rules. I do know that it's very hard to get visas to places if you've been deported before, but I don't know if there are some that are more okay with it than others. My goal is just to never get deported. I did overstay one visa. I think it was the Philippines, and they charged me, but there was no record of it. And it was just like a day or two. Yeah, so AZ, I know there are tall men in Mexico, but you don't see them alone. I know that. I am an observant person, and I have never seen a tall man in Mexico alone. His wife and or mother is right on his shoulder. Curacao is C-U-R-A-C. With that funny C. It was a Dutch island, or may still be. I guess it's still a Dutch island because Dutch people have special access to Curacao. Like they can come and stay and don't have to follow the same rules as other people. So I guess it's still a Dutch island. So they have that C. Curacao is way down. So right, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao are the Dutch, those 3 islands, and they're way down there. They're down almost in South America. They're very far. Very, very far. Yeah, so those are my criteria. Your criteria are yours. So it's important. I think that's one of the reasons it's important to bop around, because some of these things would not have been that important to me if I hadn't done some bopping. The 6-hour flight back and forth to the US, I didn't really think about that the first time. I thought I was going to go to Malaysia, and I didn't really think about what happens if there's an emergency and it's going to take you 18 hours just to get to JFK Airport, right? Kuala Lumpur is an international airport. You can get anywhere from there, but it's going to take you a full day, at least a full, So, yeah. So I think it's important to do some bopping, have some freedom, see what things are important to you and what things aren't important to you. Because there probably were some things that were important to me that have fallen off the list, in addition to some things rising on the list, right? Taller men, having men who are at least 5'9", right? That has risen on my list lately. I didn't really think about it too much before. All right, questions. You're welcome. ABC Islands, yes. The ABC Islands, which I believe Aruba, I think Bonaire is the B. Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. It may be something different. Those are the islands that are the Dutch islands. They're really cute. They're so cute. I can't wait to go. I really hope COVID lets me go. I don't really know what's happening in this world. I thought we were done. I promise y'all, I thought we were on the downslope. I kept telling my parents, fewer people are dying, it's over. Nope, it ain't over. It ain't over. Hi, Knitting Babe. All right, the Declutter Challenge. December Declutter Challenge is a challenge where I'm asking you to do some decluttering in December and give at least $1 for every box or bag of items that you remove from your home, or for every like bundle of electronic declutter you remove from your life, like your email folder, your pictures on your phone, right? If you have digital declutter, your alerts and stuff, I would like you to join us in decluttering these things and then donating some money to the December Declutter Challenge. The link to that, I'm gonna have to type it out because I don't remember where I left it. December. Remember, captains, that I've just sent the email after we got started today. I just sent the email inviting you to the Zoom call. So if you volunteered to be a team captain, that email just got sent. Okay, but if you don't want to be a team captain, you just want to throw some money on the table, do it, okay? A December to declutter.org is the link. A December to declutter.org. I know better than to give things long, complicated names, and I still gave it a long, complicated name. I don't know, okay? That is where you can drop your dough. The money is going to, and tomorrow we're going to pick the person. Tomorrow, captains, we are picking the recipient of the money. The money is going to a Black woman so she can take a sabbatical, right? We are paying her to leave, to not work for however many months we can raise enough money for. We're paying for her sabbatical. That's where the money is going. I've done a poor job of of advertising and publicizing this, but I promise you I'm gonna do better starting today. Okay, I'm gonna do better because this is a real impact that we are going to be able to make together. We're coming together as the Vacarians to make this impact, the Vacarians and our friends, to do something for a woman. We're going to be able to see that outcome. And I'm slipping. Time moves really fast for me now. I'm slipping, but we're going to do better. Okay? I'm going to do better so that we can do this good thing together. I'm excited about it. So tomorrow the captains are going to pick the recipient. And then I think once we see a woman, once we can say this is who we're giving the money to, it'll be much easier. 2,400 people committing to give $10 means that she gets $24,000. That's 6 months for anywhere you live in the country, I think. That's 6 months where you don't have to work, right? Maybe a year. If she can up and dip someplace less expensive, that's a year where she does not have to work. Okay, so that's what's happening. I'm going to do a whole lot more videos about that this month. I promise you, okay? But captains, we're getting together tomorrow, and if you can't do it, if you can't meet tomorrow, I'll send you the replay. And so I did some decluttering. I'm looking for the bags like they would still be here. I took 2 bags of clothing to H&M to recycle, and it went well. My mom drove me there and she recorded it. I can't remember. So I shared it somewhere, but I don't remember where I shared it. I think I may have shared it on Twitter. I'm at Vacarious on Twitter. So we dropped off the clothes for recycling. The lady knew exactly what I was doing. As soon as I walked up to the counter, they had something on top. They have this big bin for drop off. She took the little lid off. She took my 2 bags. She dropped my bags in for recycling, and she gave me 3 coupons. During the live stream that day, I said, someone, I'm sorry, I don't remember who, said, make sure that you give your coupon to a Black woman shopping in the store. Wonderful idea, right? Because I don't want to replace my stuff with more stuff. But you know what I did? I walked out of the store and took a pic for the gram of me holding the 3 coupons with the H&M logo behind it. And then I just turned and walked away, walked out with my coupons. There was a woman, I walked past a Black woman with a stroller who I could have given my coupons to. I failed. I failed, y'all. But I do still have the coupons. So that is, H&M takes clothing for recycling. So if you have clothes that are not going to be sellable, I would first sell, right? First sell the stuff. I still have some stuff in the closet that I'm going to sell. I have a really cute, I can't remember the designer, really cute designer thing that I bought. Anyway, first sell, then give away, right? I would say find places and organizations and individuals to give things to, but I had a bunch of stuff that was not resellable and not giveawayable. You know, pit stains and holes and, pulled out hems and, just stuff that was no more good. Instead of throwing it away, you guys were kind enough to tell me that H&M takes clothing for recycling. You told me that. I didn't know that. And boom, you were right. So the drop off, thank you for asking that. The rest is up to you. Thank you for asking. The drop off went well. I'm glad I did it. And let's see, we had a couple other, Tanaj and Tino. But still the problem is that I don't go on Instagram. So I don't know if Tanaj and Tino shared their drop off. They said that they were going to drop off as well. But I don't remember. If you still want to do your H&M drop off, do it and tag me. I'm at Vicarious on Instagram and on Twitter. But I don't know. I don't be on Instagram all that much. It's hard for me to close Instagram once I open it, so I don't get on it all that much. But I am going to spend more time on Instagram over this month because of the challenge. But that's the link. I mean, that's what's happening. That's the updated progress. Challenge is adecember2declutter.org. So if you want to give $1 or so for every amount of items that you get rid of, that's good. If you just want to give a flat fee, right? I'm going to do some decluttering this month. I'm just going to drop in my $20 or $10. Here you go. That's fine too. However you want to do it, it's your thing. I'm doing it per box and per group of items, but y'all do however you're going to do it. All right. This is Stone Soup. This is us coming together, doing our things and making a soup. Right, making a soup. Okay, I'm loading up non-wearable stuff today. Thank you. I will give my coupon in your honor. Thank you. I failed. I just totally failed. I went out. This is right. This is why you should not do things for the gram. I went out and I took the picture outside with the store sign and the coupons, and right, the picture looks good, but I walked away with the coupons. I didn't bother to turn back around and give the lady the coupons, right? Which we had just talked about it. Like literally, it took 60 seconds to go from the car to the store. In that amount of time, I lost it, right? So worried about Instagram that I forgot to finish out what I said I was going to do. Good. All right. So good. All right. We're doing it together. Okay. We're doing it together. So you're going to hear a whole lot more from me. Don't worry. This is not the last time you're going to hear about the December Declutter Challenge. Okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay. So it's 11:40. The Jubilee started 40 minutes ago, but I always knew I was going to be late. I was never going to be on time. Okay. Did you ask a question that I did not see? Rare hibiscus. I decluttered my entire house, remodeled the kitchen and decluttered all the rooms. Wonderful. How long did it take you to declutter an entire house? Let's see. I know. It won't go away. It will not go. It's going to go away. I don't want to say that. It's going to go away. Everything, it's going to go away. KW, hi Stephanie. Is it necessary to go back to natural hair if I go bopping around the world? Part of my ease plan was relaxing my hair. So if you're going to a place with Black people, there are going to be Black hairdressers and relaxers, right? If you're going to, all I can think of is all I can think of is Paris, right? In Paris, no problem, right? So it depends. If you're going to a place with Black people, then you're going to find Black hairdressers who will do a relaxer. Okay? If you're going to a place, okay, so you can try to plan your trip around these cities. Like let's say you're traveling Europe and Asia, right? Then I would put Paris at I know if you can go 8 weeks, make sure I'm in Paris for a while. Make sure I'm in Paris, and then, I don't know, Germany, Berlin, I would guess. It would be easy to get a relaxer in Berlin. Where in Asia? Anyway, so you may need to plan this out ahead of time. Just look for Black stylists. A pro tip is to look for places with Black military installations, right? For a while, I wanted to live in Germany once I saw pictures of Heidelberg, Germany, and I found a Black a hairdresser. I've never been to Berlin, Germany, but I know a Black hairdresser that I will go to if I ever get there. So if you're going to be around military installations, like if you're going to Korea, you will have no problem getting your hair did in Korea, right? So no. So the answer is no, right? Do you need to go natural? No. But you're going to need to take some extra steps. I don't know that I've seen, so I see Black hair products a lot of places, but I don't know that I've seen relaxers out and about. But again, I'm not looking for them. So it may just be that I haven't looked, but there are hair stores everywhere. Anytime you go to a mall, there's, a hair store or a shopping center. This is a question that I would ask in specific groups, right? So we know that we need to be in, or maybe we don't know. I think you need to be in Facebook groups for expats and for Black expats in places where you want to go and spend a significant amount of time. If you're on Facebook, find Facebook groups for these people, for these places, and then ask them, who is the Black hairstylist, right? Who does relaxers in this town? Right? Of course, braiding is almost everywhere, right? You may not like the results. You may struggle. Braiders today have gone ham. Braiders today want you to come with your hair already done. I don't know. I saw a braider. Oh, I don't even want to talk about it. I watched it. So Rashida and Adelia and they just talked to me about the process of getting a braider to do your hair in Mexico City. And then I guess YouTube was listening, because then YouTube had me watch a video about a woman's braid experience. She was in the US somewhere. And the requirements for that appointment were bonkers. So yes, she had to pay a deposit, which seems to be a thing now. She had to pay a deposit, buy her own hair. The stylist, she got there, the stylist had 2 people ahead of her, even though she has a late fee tacked onto the bill. And then she had to have her hair not just blown out, but she had to have her hair flat ironed for the braid appointment. They've lost it. They've lost it. Hairstylists, y'all have lost it. When did we start having to do our hair before we go to get our hair done? Anyway, I'm off topic. I'm upset about that. I'm upset about it. No, right? Just, you may need a little extra planning. Find braiders and or relaxers where you want to go. Braiders or relaxers. Find braiders or hairstylists where you want to go. No, I don't think it's necessary at all. All right. All right, we're now into the point of the day where I just complain about things. We just talked about this last Saturday too, but that's how upset about it I am. I'm so upset about it. Yes, right? So you have to learn, sometimes you're going to have to do some things on your own, right? You're going to have to learn it on your own. Or, yeah, whatever, I don't know. Yes, I think the military, that's what I did. When I saw how beautiful Heidelberg was, the next step was that I saw that there was the huge military hospital, the huge army hospital. And then I was like, there's a base there. Now, I don't know if civilians can go on base to get your hair done. You're going to have to Google that. I don't know. Do you need somebody to get you on base? Probably. I don't know how this works. This is why we join groups for groups for the places that we want to go. Okay, hi. Mama Lynn, finding shoes and clothes for larger size women in other countries. I wear a size 20 or 18. There are places where it's just impossible. There is, like in parts of Southeast Asia, it was impossible to find new clothes. So I had them made. One of the benefits of traveling slowly is you can take 3-4 days and get you a whole wardrobe made. I had clothes made. I had some in Vietnam. I had some day jammers made. I had some little tank dresses, and I had some shorts because I couldn't find shorts at all. Right. I couldn't find any clothes in Vietnam, but I couldn't find shorts that were long enough, right? Long shorts. That didn't have my thighs rubbing together all the time. So if you're going to a place where they have like malls and H&M and whatever, what's it called? Zara and H&M. For the most part, they're going to have larger size clothing because that's the default. But I was in the Philippines, and that H&M did not have any clothes past a medium. I didn't see them. If I missed it, I missed it, right? I didn't see it. So usually H&M is a good sign. When you're taller or bigger than the average person, H&M is always a good option. But Ms. Dow. Okay, let me get the right link. But these also happen to be places where people will make your clothes, right? Shoes. I've had shoes made. I don't know that I ever went shopping for shoes anywhere, not even in Mexico. I don't know that I ever intentionally went to buy shoes. I have had shoes made. That's the thing that I do. I only wear a size 10. It's not like I wear a super large size shoe. I only wear a size 10, but I on purpose get things made. So I don't know. Did I answer? So if you're bigger than the average person there, right, you may need to do some, you may be fine, right? Just go to H&M. Or you may need to figure out how to get some clothes made. Right? Or pack and then plan to come back if you think you're just going to get tired of your clothes or whatever. I don't know. How was that answer? Hello, Duala. I was able to find a braider in Oaxaca by Googling trenza. It's still a kitchen-titian situation. Okay. Did she do it yet? Has she done your hair yet? And how did it go? Okay, Ms. Dow. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I said that because I'm a veteran, and I forgot that people just can't walk on military bases. I forgot about that point. So I don't know. You may need to just make a friend. Make a friend who can escort you on so that you can go get your hair did. So, okay, so this is something that was a struggle. So undergarments were the struggle. The clothing to me was not a struggle. The undergarments were a struggle. And I went to Spain. My luggage was stolen. This was before my sabbatical. This was just a regular vacation. My luggage was stolen at the airport because I was living my life and taking too long to get my stuff off the airport conveyor belt. And my luggage was stolen in the airport. At that time I wore an 18, I remember. And I got to the hotel. I went across the street and they had like a 2-story department store like Macy's, right? They sell the clothes. It looked like Macy's. As soon as you got in there, they had the same brands as Macy's and everything. And I went and I bought the biggest panties they had, and I was cutting my circulation the whole time. It was a terrible experience. So trying to find undergarments in places where everyone is smaller than you, a struggle. So just pack twice the underwear you think you need. Like really, twice the panties and bras. You probably need half the clothes you think you need, but you do need twice the underwear than you think if you're going bopping for a long time. I don't know. Let's see. So Australia was a place where it was easy for me to find large sizes. In parts of Thailand, because of tourism, like women would just come out of their shops and be like, we have big size. We have big size. But that whole year in Southeast Asia was a year when I could not go into a store and buy clothes, and I still got fresh clothes. I just had stuff made for me, or when I went down to Australia, things were pretty easy. Okay, y'all hit the like button so Nyrel can rest, please. Take a second and hit this like button. Thanks, friends, so Nyrel can rest. All right. Okay, so Duala says in Puerto Vallarta, H&M. Okay. I'm surprised by that because of the tourism, right? Because okay. I had, so the H&M is my go-to in parts of Mexico. I couldn't wait to get to the mall in Querétaro, right? I couldn't wait. At that point, I just felt like I was over my clothes or whatever. And I could not wait to get to H&M, and I got stuff in Querétaro. Okay, so Duala saying Puerto Vallarta also a no-go. Put underwear in separate suitcases. Yeah. Now I know how to pack a carry-on better. At that point, I didn't have the travel experience. This was 2008. I don't know. But I didn't have the experience. So my carry-on had nothing important, nothing that I needed. And so now I know to I can pack a couple of days in my carry-on, right? Just a couple of like little t-shirt dresses or whatever, a couple of pairs of underwears, another bra, roll them up and put them in my packing cube, shove my packing cube in my backpack. And that's with me. So no matter what happens to my suitcase, I know I can go. I can make it. I'm not going to be because I traveled to Spain in some black yoga pants and a black and white striped tank top. And every picture of me in Spain, I'm wearing them black. That I bought one pair of capri pants and one Zara t-shirt. So all my Spain pictures, I'm wearing those two outfits. I wash out one in the sink and hang it up. I didn't think about asking the hotel. I was in a hotel. This was back when I lived in and when I stayed in hotels when I traveled. I didn't think to ask the hotel about laundry service because I was convinced every day. I was convinced that my luggage wasn't stolen. It was just lost, and that it was coming the next day. It took me until I got back home to realize the luggage was stolen off the conveyor belt. In my mind, I kept thinking it just didn't make the flight. It made the flight, right? Because it made the flight, or they would have found it. So every day I was convinced that this is the last day I need to do this. But every day I would wash out my clothes, underwear, bra, socks, and my out pants and shirt, hang it up, and then wear the other thing that I bought. Right. And so I just revolved those two outfits for my 6-day vacation in Spain. Miss Pouillard. Okay. I don't know that this would be a working solution in other countries, but this is an idea. This is something you can look for. So you get to H&M and they don't have your size, buy it online and ship it to that store. That's something I never would have thought to do. Never would have thought that. Thank you for that. Yeah, I use packing cubes too. Yeah. So now in my backpack alone, I have enough clothes for 2 days. And then the suitcase can do what it do. Because most of the time, my suitcases don't make it with me. My suitcase, well, not most of the time, but I was on a streak there where I didn't make where I got to the destination and my suitcase got there the next day. I had a streak of that for a while. American Airlines, you know how they be doing. I don't. And so I remember getting to Guadalajara for my very first house sit in Mexico, and then they had to bring me my luggage the next day. And these people did not live in a town. I'm like, well, you're going to have to find me. They had to talk to him and give him a map with a pin on it. And the van driver brought it to me. So for a while, I was on a good streak there. And so I don't get too worried about the delayed suitcase because I know I do a better job of packing my carry-on. No, Lee, they don't carry. That neck roll doesn't count. You just, well, if you wear it or if you like are holding it, it doesn't count. I've never had anybody say anything about it. I used to carry one. It's been a while. I don't know what happened to mine, as a matter of fact. But yeah, no, that neck roll doesn't count. We're not waiting until we hit a magic number to live our dreams. Not a magic weight, not a magic age, not a magic bank account number. I'm not doing it. I don't want you to do it. I don't want you to put off living your life until you hit some magic number where you then have permission to do things. I travel while fat. I'm traveling while I'm fat. All right? I'm doing it. I want you to do it. If you put things off until you hit that magic number, what is that telling yourself? That you're not worthy today? Satin Doll, I'm talking to you because I think this was a message that you were talking to. This sounds like you're saying this to yourself as well. Maybe you're not saying this to yourself. But on my channel, that is not the message. No, right? That's not just like I'm not telling you that you should move to Ghana or Nigeria. I'm not telling you that you should be traveling and transporting through Saudi Arabia. We are not on this channel advocating hitting a magic number in our lives before we start living. Live now, today, at this weight, with this hair, with these arms, right? Whatever that thing is, whatever it is, we do it today. We do it now. Because, honey, tomorrow is not promised. We don't know what's coming down the pipe. We don't know. Check your email, Nadine. Check your email. If not, I'll resend it when I get off. But I just hit send after we went live at like 10 o'clock. I know yours was on there. Your email address was on there. Amazon to other countries? It's super expensive. I don't know. I've never done it. Adelia's here. I think, Adelia, have you done a video about Amazon in Mexico? If not, can you do one? Please and thank you. I've taken a request, so now can you take a request? Can you do a video about Amazon in Mexico? But it's expensive. I don't think it's worth that. We're not putting our lives on hold for any reason, right? We're not doing it. I'm not. You can if you want. I really am not the boss of you, even though I do act like I'm not the boss of you. But this is what I want for you. I want you to live today. I want you to live today, now. All right? That's why that's why this whole channel exists. Okay? I travel while fat. All right? If anybody's upset by that, they're going to have to get over it. All right? We're doing it. We're doing it. Okay. Tomorrow is not promised. We know that. I think we all know that. Yes, now is the magic number. Yes, now is the magic number. Yes. Live your life. Live your life. Okay. Okay, how did I do in the questions? With the questions? Connie Perry, this is my mom. Okay? She said live. Okay? Live, sister, live. We're not waiting. We're not waiting. Yes, so there is Amazon in Mexico, but I heard it was expensive. I haven't bothered, but I've heard it was expensive. That's all I know. But Adelia, if you're still here, okay, thank you. Appreciate you. Adelia would do a video on getting things from Amazon in Mexico. How much more expensive are things like electronics and stuff? Super crazy, bonkers expensive. Oh, Amirio, is it possible to travel while broke? House sitting or work exchanges? So we talked earlier about work exchanges. I don't know if you were here then. We talked about work exchanges where you work for someone for 4 or 5 hours a day. They give you free room and board. That means a place to stay and the food. Yeah, right? That is my favorite tip for traveling while broke. Okay, now you're still going to have to get your airfare. You're still going to have to get yourself there. But they pay now. So airfare is a miles thing, a points thing, which I can't help you with. I think the key to flying while broke is to having points, making sure that you're putting things on your card, on your credit card, so that you can accumulate points. And just like applying for the credit card itself can get you a free round trip ticket, right? Some of these new cards have aggressive points for the first, like you get the card, and then if you purchase so much within the first month or the first 90 days, you get this nice bulk number of points. I'm doing a bad job of explaining this because I am a points idiot. I'm behind on points. But that would be my advice. Do as I say, not as I do. Get you some points and find a way to stay someplace for free, house sitting or work exchanges, okay? House sitting, you're gonna have to pay for your own food. Work exchanges, you do not. But work exchanges do require 4 or 5 hours a day of work. And you can find any kind of work. I've seen photographers. I've seen people asking for photographers on these work exchange sites. I did childcare. Lots of help people learn English, right? Requests, sometimes in like schools, but other times just in the home, right? We just want somebody to stay with us for a few weeks. And, I got 2 teenagers and 2 parents and help us learn English, stay with, I've seen those as well. Lots of work in a hostel or work in not hotel, usually not hotels, but lots of work in this hostel. You get to stay in the hostel for free and eat for free if you work the front desk for so many hours a day. Or clean, or do the housekeeping for so many hours a day, right? So my traveling while broke answer is work exchanges, house sitting, points. Combine some or all of these things. You can do it. You can do it. Everybody needs a vacation. I don't I don't think right? Broke people are the ones who need the vacation the most, right? I've been broke. I've traveled while broke. Okay. All right, those are my answers. Work exchanges. I did a video on work exchanges with Tiffany called Volunteering Abroad, but that was probably one of my first videos. 2 years. That was probably 2 years ago. So I'll do a more updated one. And then in the 12 Days of Career Breaks videos, we talked to Kenya Rancy, 12 Days of Career Breaks with Kenya Rancy. She had a wonderful experience on a work exchange in Spain. She worked on a farm in Spain and the woman who owned the farm was a chef. So that was a fun video. I would say watch the 12 Days of Career Breaks videos with Kenya Rancy. I right now don't know if that's on my channel or on Rashida's channel. We made a series of videos together. I'm not sure if that video is on my channel or Rashida's channel, but just put in 12 Days of Career Breaks Kenya Rancy. You'll find it. That was a good talk about work exchanges. And then Tiffany and I did the video on my channel 2 years ago, but her work exchange was a little different. It was building and like labor, heavy labor, hard labor, which I would never. But that video is on there as well. And then I've talked on and off. I've talked a few different times about my own experience with the part-time nanny, the summer that I was the part-time nanny in Australia. But what I've told you is basically all there was to tell you. I got it through workaway.info. I read her reviews. She had helpers before. They had just moved, and so she wanted to help with unpacking and taking care of the kids. The house was beautiful, and they had a pool. It was summer, but it was Australia's winter, so I didn't get in the pool. But I did chill outside beside the pool. The kids liked to clean the pool with me because they love Star Wars, and they said the net was like the Death Star. They thought that was really fun. I got the kids up and dressed, 2 boys. Made their breakfast. They were fine with scrambled eggs almost every day. Scrambled eggs is pretty much the only thing that I can make that is good, like delicious. And they were pretty much fine with scrambled eggs every day. I packed their lunch the night before, drove the carpool. I picked up some other kids on the way because they went to a country school. And then the car was mine for the rest of the day. Gas was very expensive, so I didn't do very much, but I did a little. And that was through workaway.info. Yeah. And then the Cambodia one, I'm just thinking. And then the Cambodia one was the worst experience. It wasn't good. He was French. He was not Cambodian. I feel like I need to say that every time because I'm not talking bad about Cambodian people. They were very nice to me. And the food is good. But I didn't like it. He didn't give me what he promised to provide, right? Which was room and board. He gave me a room. He didn't feed me, not one day. And the electricity went out every night, which he didn't tell me, which meant no fan, right? So I'm sleeping upstairs in a home in Cambodia with no fan. This is one of the places that didn't have a shower, but I knew that going into it. I have no problem, right, with a bucket and a cup, right? That is how you shower in some places. When they don't have a shower, you get a bucket of clean water, you get you a cup, and you get some soap, right? So I had no problem with the no shower thing. I knew that going into it, but I did not expect to not have a fan at night, right? I did not expect no electricity. And I didn't expect him to never provide food, which was part of the agreement. I translated some documents. For him, he was a cricket farmer. Crickets are a source of protein and I think calcium. And so he farmed crickets, organic crickets, which is something that people use in protein powders. His were for grinding into a powder. People didn't eat his crickets. He ground it into a powder. But he needed me to translate some things into English. He had some stuff that he'd written in French that he needed. No, he didn't. What did I do? Because I can't translate French. What did I do? I think he must have written them in English, but it was not good English. And he needed me to Englishify the documents because he was trying to get grants as a farmer. That's what I realized. He was trying to get grants that other Cambodian farmers were getting, but I'm like, you're not Cambodian, right? Like, I don't know. I didn't like him. If you can't tell, I didn't like him at all. I left. I left early. There were some really good parts about it. I loved Angkor Wat. I loved being in Cambodia. I loved being in the town. I met a dude named Guy. I met a guy named Guy who we had a little lunch date every day. Just a friend who we had a little lunch date every day. He was black. I think he might have been from DC. So it was nice to have a black friend that I could have lunch with every day. There were parts of that time that was wonderful. I had a motorbike. I could just, like just ride out in the countryside on the motorbike. The neighbors and the kids were friendly. And it was really overall, I enjoyed my time there, but he was the worst. He was the pits. He was the worst. So I left. I left. I think I was only supposed to be there for 3 weeks, but I probably did half of that. And then I was like, bye. And I told Guy, I'm leaving. He was still there. He was volunteering for another agency or for an agency. And that was it. Yes, a bucket and a cup. I got no problem with that. So this is a thing you need to know about traveling. When people talk about, oh, you can travel on $40 a day. Yeah, I traveled on $40 a day. But when my money got tight, I know how to stretch a dollar. In the Philippines, I stayed in an Airbnb with no shower, bucket and a cup. She lived on the water, kind of. You know how you see those houses on stilts? A little shanty town. It was a shanty town on stilts. A whole town up on stilts. She very nice people, very nice lady. Yeah, but no shower. I've stayed in places with no shower. I've stayed in places with no toilet. Yeah, so when people start talking about how much money things cost, you need to know their standards. That was then. Now that I have income, I can't imagine that I would do that again. I'm never pooping in a in a recycle container anymore. I pooped in a recycling container, right? That was the toilet. I've done that. When I wanted to travel for a year and I needed my money to stretch, I did those things. But now I wouldn't do it. Yeah. I've done it. I got no problem with it. I eased on out of there. I eased on out of there. Yes. Right. But the best way that I made my money stretch was doing the work exchanges in Australia, because Australia is crazy expensive. It's crazy expensive. So that I don't think that there's any place in the world that you could get that where that free room and board. Well, no, not any place. There are more expensive places than Australia, but that free room and board took me far in Australia, right? Free room and board in Cambodia is really like the equivalent of $10 a day. You can live and eat in Cambodia on $10 a day, right? So free room, I was doing too much work for him for $10 a day. In Australia, that was probably $60 a day of food and accommodation, maybe $80 a day, right? Anyway. Yeah, so you need to make sure that your work exchange, that you're getting a good exchange as well. Not just them, but you. Let's see, Vera. You said, how are you treated, and is it worth spending the money? For what, Vera? Let me go back to your older. Is what worth the money? Oh, I haven't been to Iceland. Y'all tell her. Somebody tell her. I'm not kidding. I bop on a budget. I have not been to expensive places. I can't help you. If you look at the least expensive places to visit, that's where I've been. Somebody tell her. I know Danielle, who is the Thought Card on YouTube and on her podcast, loves Iceland. And I interviewed her here on the channel, but we didn't really talk too much about Iceland. The interview was about her paying off her student loan debt. She loves Iceland. I don't know. It's expensive. I can get $4 out of a dollar. I can. If it's between pooping in a recycling container and going back home and getting a job, I'm pooping in that recycling container. I don't care. I was not coming back home to get a job. There was no chance. Okay. I could have come home and gotten a job, but I did not. Instead, I stayed with some people. Here's how expensive Australia is. They had been building their home for 5 years. This was not the family with the kids. This was over on the West Coast in Perth, outside of Perth. They had been building their home for 5 years, and they still mostly just had the garage and the kitchen done. And so they lived in the garage. Yeah, they built a bed, like a loft bedroom above the garage. And they did not, so they had the kitchen and they had a shower, but not a toilet. So they made their own composting toilet, basically. They took a recycling container, put some little steps up to it, made a humongous toilet seat out of, I don't know what it was. It was just wood, I guess, like sanded down wood, but a humongous toilet seat on this recycling container. And then they had hay or like horse. No, it wasn't hay. This is the point where I'm gonna lose you. Okay. So after you poop into this recycling container, then you had to take manure and throw the horse manure on top of your poop so that it didn't stink and so that it broke down. Horse manure didn't stink. Horse manure doesn't stink apparently. I don't know, or maybe these were special horses. Yeah, so that was the thing. I think I stayed with them for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah, right? I could have come home and got a job. I didn't come home and get a job. I stayed with those people. I knew going into it. It's not like I was surprised. I don't like walking in on surprises. And I would not advise you to set yourself up so that you have to walk in on surprises. But, right, work exchanges are work exchanges. Some are wonderful. Some are not wonderful. You need to make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. Yeah, know what you get. Read the reviews, talk to the people, see if it's really a fair exchange for both of you. Yeah, so it was basically a DIY composting toilet. But it was huge. it was a trash container. It was huge. It was humorous. I mean, like how many times in your life do you get to really do something totally new to you, right? Like how often in your life are you like, what an experience? That was a whole year of what an experience, right? That whole year I pooped in trash cans. I was a nanny for kids, which is really crazy because I'm not very fond of kids. I want my own children, but I'm not fond of other people's kids. I did that nanny au pair work. I held a koala bear and I drove past places with kangaroo crossing signs and right, like it was just a whole year of like, what an experience. This is just new. Everything was new that year. Everything was different. I learned how to say delicious in I think 3 different languages, and women in restaurants would just give me free desserts. In Thailand, they loved it when I would sit down and eat. One day I sat down in Thailand. I just walked into a restaurant on the strip, like a touristy strip. I sat down in the little chair and I ordered just a regular sweet, now I can't think of it, whatever it is, rice and chicken and rice, like a sweet and sour chicken and rice. That food was so hot. I cried the entire meal, but I didn't stop eating it. I cried, literal tears streaming out of my eyes. I'm eating every morsel of this. It was delicious, but it was so hot. And she's looking at me and like, I can't remember what she brought me. She brought me something. And I was like, don't worry, I'm okay. And then at the end, I told her in Thai, I said, aroy, which is delicious. And she gave me a free mango sticky rice. You know what I mean? How often do we just get to do a new thing? I don't know. But I had a whole year of doing a new thing. And it changed my life. It changed what I thought who I thought I was. I've realized that I wasn't the person I thought I was. I was actually a person who liked doing things I thought I didn't like to do. I was actually a person who had different priorities than the priorities that were like given to me. What work did you do for these people? For the people in Australia, they bred dogs. So my main job was to make the dogs food every day because they bred schnauzers, the most adorable schnauzers. And so I had to and the food always smelled so good, but it wasn't for us. I put just like a whole bunch of vegetables and like sweet potatoes and cabbage and stuff in a crock pot. I made their meal every day. I so they had a huge yard and no lawnmower. So I did some weed whacking. I would do like an hour or so of weed whacking every day because you always had to. And then they also, in their garage, they sold car parts. I don't know how they found customers, but they sold parts in their garage. So I'd fill their orders. So like basically an hour doing things for the dogs, an hour cutting grass, and like an hour of filling car part orders. And then we just sat around. We drank and drank and drank. Once the sun started going down, they shut everything down. She would go cook dinner, and me and the husband would sit outside by the fire and drink wine. I mean, bottles of wine. I don't know. I feel like if they didn't buy so much wine, their house could have been done. But wine is very cheap in Australia. Wine is cheaper than beer. Wine is cheaper than anything in Australia. Yes, but that's what I did. Those were my responsibilities for that particular family. He was from New Zealand. She was Australian. They were racist. They were mildly racist people. They were mildly racist people. This is another one where I left and then came back because Australia's expensive and I didn't want to stay on my own. So I left and came back. But not racist in what they said, not racist towards me, but they really had negative feelings about Aboriginal people, which after a few days of drinking together, they let flow, right? After a few days of drinking wine by the fire, they finally thought, oh, let's tell her how racist we are about Aboriginals. So I left, but then I did go back to work for them for another couple of days because I couldn't leave my flight. I don't know. I left, went to a hostel for a few days and came back. Yes. They were mildly racist. I guess mildly that's being nice. They were just flat out racist people, but they could keep it under wraps for a few days. Yeah, Australians, they're not good people. I've told y'all that. Y'all know. I've said that. White Australian people are not. The family that I took care of the kids for, she was Dutch. These are different people. She was Dutch and he was English. They lived in Australia, but they were different people. But this other family on the West Coast, they were racist people. Right, but experiences. These are things that I've done. One day when I sit down and write a book, I'll have stories to tell. I got stories to tell. So things don't really surprise me. I grew up around white people, so things don't really surprise me. So it's not like I was like shocked and whoa. He thinks that he's more human than another group of people. Well, that's white people, as far as I know. White people in the United States, they feel the same way, right? They are more deserving of human rights than black and brown people, right? So it's not like anything that he said to me was super shocking to me. Right? Like I grew up outside of Columbus, Ohio, in Westerville, Ohio. I know white people. So New Zealanders, I've heard black people go to New Zealand and have a wonderful time. I don't know what New Zealand's actual stance is on Aboriginal people. You know what I mean? So black people love traveling in New Zealand. Love it. It's beautiful, first of all. It's just amazing, breathtaking. It's like Canada without the Canada, you know? Like Canada has those beautiful lakes, but you gotta be in Canada for it. The Canada without the Canada. But I don't know what the people are like in terms of treatment of other people. Yeah. Hi, Aunt Cindy. Yeah, right. We know white people. We know. It's hard to be really surprising. That's why I call them mildly racist. All right. All right. Yes. Yes. It's all a way to try to alleviate their own guilt. I know. Yeah. Blame it on the All right, we supposed to have been done. All right, Tasmania, no experience with Tasmania. I didn't get down there. I didn't have any money. Remember, I got to Australia. I didn't have any money to spend. I had to go where the accommodations were free. So I didn't have any money in Australia. Canada. Hello, Canadian friends. Weather. I'm team boycott winter, first of all. That weather, automatically Canada is a no. Plus, the Canadian. So I have a thing with accents, which I only just really recently uncovered. Canadians, friends, y'all don't move your mouths enough for me. I don't hear very well. I need to go. It's time to go. I don't hear very well. I don't have hearing out of one of my ears. I don't hear very well. So I think I read lips more than I know, more than I realize, right? I need to understand what you're saying with your mouth, not just your words. Canadians, y'all don't move your mouths. I don't know how you do it. I can't. I can't handle Canada. I can't handle Canada. It's not a place for me. The cold, and I can't understand what you're saying, even though we're saying the same words with the same accent, but I don't understand you. I don't. I just, yeah, I have a thing. Y'all know I have a thing with accents. I have a thing. I just insulted AZ's accent the other day. I have a thing. Okay. Oh, your first chat. Okay, welcome, Cynthia. All right. Sometimes I behave a little better. Okay. All right. Yes, Budapest is gorgeous. One of the most beautiful cities I've been to. All right. Yes, boycott winter. We don't need it. You don't need it in your life. You don't need it. I feel like I've done an amazing job of answering questions about sabbaticals and gap years and bopping around. I didn't really answer your questions about expat stuff. Y'all already know I'm not really an expat. I had to put that in the title so people would understand what this video is about. I've never gotten residency somewhere, so I couldn't help you with that, but I can point you to my friends, Adelia and Rashida, who are Picky Girl Travels the World, and Sheeta's on the Loose for that type of info. But I feel like I've answered your other questions, right? I think I've done it. Yeah, Jessica, I hope you get out. I hope you can go. I hope, right? So I just did a wonderful video on Thursday. I just published a new video on Thursday talking to some Black women about ways that they're going to embrace ease, right? And embrace doing a little bit less, right? Let's do a little bit less. How can we not do the most all the time? Terry, who was here earlier, who is Black, Alaska, happy Black girl. Happy. I do know this. Hi, Terry. Let me look it up. Happy. She's not Happy Black Girl Alaska. Happy Girl Alaska. Thank you. I'm putting in extra words. Happy Girl Alaska. Terry is in Alaska, and she was talking about finally this year, she's going to embrace paying someone to remove the snow, right? She's not going to do her own snow blowing this year, which is well overdue. We talked about that just in the video that I published on Thursday. The video is called First Steps to More Ease for Black Women. If you haven't seen it, it's a really fun conversation. It's not just me like this is today. It's a really fun conversation with 4 Black women about what steps they are taking to embrace ease. Terry, who lives in Alaska, which, right? And she talked about also, I'm going to give it all away, but she also talked about possibly becoming a snowbird so that she can move south for the winter or move south for some part of the year and then go back, right? So that was a wonderful conversation. We talked with Reverend Angela B., who is the Maryland coordinator of the Poor People's Campaign. If anybody would have a struggle with doing less, it's Angela. She just finished her dissertation to get her doctorate. And she talked about ways that she's going to embrace doing less. Women who work in Reverend Angela B. Martin, women who work in these kinds of fields, in social justice, in social work, in diversity and inclusion work, are, it seems to me, the least likely women to take a break for themselves, right? The ones who need it the most are the least likely to do it, it seems like, because you feel so tied to your work. So we talked with Angela about that. We talked with Janefa, who is a woman who has a chronic illness and who coaches women with chronic illness. So we talked with her about ways that she incorporates ease into her life for her health's sake, right? For her sake. So it was a wonderful conversation. I hope that you guys will watch that video. I tried to make it shorter because the first video was 3 hours. So I was like, well, let me bring them in. We'll do a shorter version. It's still an hour and a half, but it's worth watching. It's wonderful. That was a wonderful conversation. Again, that video is called First Steps for More Ease. First Steps to More Ease for Black Women. I hope that I want us all to watch that. I've said before, I'm not the boss of you, but seriously, I really do want this for you. I want more ease for us. I do. Okay. So I don't know what you think. I don't know if you think your life, your next couple of years are going to be about hustle, hustle, grind, no sleep. I have determined and decided that these years for you are going to be about ease, right? Not, we're rejecting the hustle, we're rejecting the grind, we're rejecting the no sleep, we're rejecting the do it for other people. We're walking into some ease here. I hope. I want that for all of us. Okay. Yes, public health. Yes, women. These are fields that Black women are heavily concentrated in, right? And they're fields that are hard, hard on you, right? These are not jobs where you can leave your work at work for the most part, right? I was a pharmacy tech. When I'm done with my shift, I'm done with my shift. I left work at work, right? These are women who are not leaving work at work, and so it's a 24-hour burden, 24-hour stressor. And I really want you, friends, to be in the front of the line to embracing ease. I want you to be in the front of the line for taking a break. I want you to be in the front of the line for prioritizing you. I want you there. I'm pushing you to the front of the line. I think it's fair to say. I'm pushing you there. Just go with the flow. I think all you really need to do is go with the flow. You don't need to, you don't need to do a whole lot. Just let the wave take you. We've created this wave. Just ride the wave to ease. Ride the wave. We're doing that. Child, 5 p.m. on a Friday. We're not meeting. We're not meeting. We're not meeting for my sake and for your sake. We're not. Tell him, Kat. Okay. Okay. What? You don't get what means. You're talking about ease? Am I missing the conversation, Jessica? Am I missing it? We're just talking about doing less, right? Doing things the easier way. Easy is not easy, shortcuts, whatever you want to call them. There's nothing wrong with them. Other people are doing things that way. And it's why you're like, oh my gosh, you're glowing. And yeah, she's glowing because she got 8.5 hours of sleep. She didn't clean before the housekeeper came. She let the housekeeper do her part. Yeah, she's doing things with more ease. I think the best shortcut for Black women is to leave the United States. I think that's the best ease shortcut you can give yourself. Yeah, but you can incorporate it today. You don't have to wait until that magic move abroad date, right? You don't have to wait for that magic number to start incorporating ease today. I did that survey on my channel, and I think 12% or 11%. I did a survey on my channel and I said, what are you doing for ease? Like, do you have a housekeeper? Do you have somebody else doing your yard work? Are you saying no to relationships that are requiring you to do more than your fair share? Right? That's the one that won out on the poll. But the 11 or 12% of you said you're not doing anything right now to welcome more ease. So I'm going to make some videos for you. Oh, okay. So I have a 1 o'clock one-on-one call. Oh, shoot. So I didn't miss the whole thing. I didn't miss the whole jubilee. I have a 1 o'clock one-on-one call with Janice, who I was probably not supposed to announce. Hi, Janice. I think if you're here, sorry, I'll see you soon. I'm not good at keeping things. Yeah. Okay. I want that. I want that for us. I want that for me. I want that for me. I'm working on that for me, and I want that for you. Okay. So thank you, friends, for hanging out today. You're going to see a lot more of me over the next few days. Don't forget the Declutter Challenge at adecember2declutter.org. Team captains, check your email. We're getting together tomorrow. If you can't get together, it's okay. You can watch the replay. And I'll be hanging out a lot more over the next few days or couple of weeks. Okay. Thank you again for being so wonderful to me and to each other. I can't thank you enough for the way that you take care of each other in this chat. I do a lot of YouTubing, a lot of YouTube watching. There's no community like ours. Nowhere. There's no community like this anywhere. So thank you for being part of this community, a very important part of this community. Okay. But don't just listen. Okay. Don't just take it in. Put it into action for yourself. Okay. Put it into action for yourself. Put these things into action. Okay? This is not just for other people. It's for you. It's for you. Okay? All right. Thanks, friends. I'll see you again very soon. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy December. Gosh, already December. Okay, bye.